So where are we on God's timetable? We are at the end of the church age, and the next major event on God's timetable will be the rapture of the church. I expect myself, my men, Zach Knight, and his Jesuits to go up at the rapture. Sometime after the rapture, the 7-year tribulation will start. Then at the end of that will be the final battle called the Battle of Armageddon, where the Antichrist and Satan will be cast into the lake of fire. Then starts the millennial reign of Christ, with Christ married to his bride, the church, and Christ will be on a 1,000-year honeymoon with his bride, ruling over the earth as its benevolent dictator. I have created a playlist to educate my followers about Bible teachings about our times. I'll have that underneath this video. I'll have the link to that underneath this video. I used Dr. Arnold Fruchtenbaum because his doctrinal positions are closest to mine. I've read the Bible from cover to cover hundreds of times and consider Dr. Fruchtenbaum one of the most accurate Bible teachers of our time. Jesus promised that Brent and I that we would defeat the Jesuit order. I'm not sure if that's happened yet, as I've noticed some evil Jesuits as I go on my walks. But we are into the dawn, and it's going to get better and better. I think my Gail shield will execute any remaining evil Jesuits. However, just because we defeat the Jesuits does not mean we have entered the millennium. There will be no millennium until the rapture has happened, and it hasn't happened on this 14th day of January 2017. And until the tribulation has happened, and that has not happened yet. You say, how do you know the tribulation hasn't happened? It's because the rapture hasn't happened. The Bible makes it plain that the rapture happens before the tribulation. My men and I are experiencing a type of the millennium because for most of our lives, we have been experiencing what the future tribulation saints will experience. However, in the millennium, Christ will reign over the entire earth. Nature will be changed, and people will live for around 1,000 years, and all the Old Testament promises to Israel will be fulfilled. Brent and I will be married first in the church age in our mortal bodies, the body I have right now, Jesus promised. Then Brent and I will be raptured and will go up to heaven to be with Jesus forever. Brent and I will participate in the marriage supper of the Lamb, Jesus' wedding in heaven, as part of his bride, the church, in heaven. The judgment seat of Christ, where believers are judged, will happen at this time too in heaven. While Jesus is marrying his bride in heaven, the great tribulation will be happening on earth, and the Antichrist and Satan will be temporarily ruling the earth. When Israel accepts their Messiah, which they will do at the end of the tribulation, then Jesus Christ will come down from heaven with his bride, the church, to rescue the Jewish nation from the Antichrist, and all remaining living Jews will accept Christ in one day. The bloodbath will be so great that it'll take months to clean up the mess. Then starts the millennium, the 1,000-year reign, with Jesus Christ and King David ruling over the earth. The church will be Jesus' bride, and Israel, the Jewish nation, will be glorified and ruling over the earth in the millennium. Many Bible scholars consider the millennium Christ's honeymoon with his bride, the church. During this time, Jesus will officiate my millennial marriage to Brent Spiner and give us his semen as a wedding gift, where Brent can make love to me with Jesus Christ's semen if he wishes. Jesus promised Brent and I that this would happen. Only Brent and I will get Jesus' semen. This is a special honor reserved for Brent and me. However, I often wonder if, as I receive Jesus' semen through Christ, if it will then flow out from us into all the church as a type of Christ making love to his bride, the church. What an honor for Brent and I if this will be the case. At the end of the millennium, Satan will be released from the bottomless pit to deceive the nations that have rejected Christ as their dictator at the very end of the millennium. God will then destroy these rebels with fire from heaven, and then we'll start eternity future. What will happen during this time is not fully revealed in Scripture, but in eternity future, Satan will be put away forever, so we know it will be great. But we are not in the millennium. That event is at least 8 years away, depending on when the rapture happens. My guess is that the millennium may not start for another 20 years. I know we are close. I believe that Brent, myself, Zach Knight, Zach's Jesuits, and my men will go up in the rapture. I know for sure that Zach will go up in the rapture because he is the Antichrist and cannot be killed. The rapture is sure to happen within the next 50 years. I have no doubt about this. But if it is delayed, Zach will be alive when it happens because it's the Antichrist. He cannot be killed even if he's 100 years old. But I'm pretty sure it will happen within the next 50 years, probably within the next 20 years. Once Zach is raptured and Satan no longer has an Antichrist, Satan will probably resurrect Angelina Ballerina as a transgender man to be his Antichrist. The problem is Satan can only have one Antichrist, so he chose Zach and he's stuck with that choice. I think this is Jesus' joke on Satan. Satan is forced to wait to have an Antichrist who will do his bidding until after the rapture, because Zach, the current Antichrist, is now on Jesus' side. This may explain why Jesus will be giving me his semen through my husband Brent Spiner during the millennium. I have made Jesus so happy by winning the Antichrist to Jesus.